This is yet another Danish movie, once again starring Mads Mikkelsen, who, if you don't already know, I'm a huge fan of. I just think he's brilliant. But the Danish in general have been on a roll lately, with movies like Another Round and Enforcement. I also recently saw one called Queen of Hearts that definitely was worth watching as well. And this one just looked like it might be up there with the best of them too. Which is setting up some high expectations, but I had also personally been recommended this by some Danish people. So I had my hopes up, and for the most part I would say this one delivers. And it starts delivering almost immediately with this quick little intro sequence, which very quickly took a turn I did not expect, and I kinda loved it. Primarily because of the tone and the juxtaposition between the light-hearted music, the sort of heartwarming little interactions, and then what happens next, which was just far from light-hearted or heartwarming. And add the unexpected nature of where it went to it, and it's just a recipe for a funny sequence. Then the movie jumps to something seemingly completely unrelated, and we're introduced to two of the main characters, these computer expert guys. In another scene we're also introduced to Mads Mikkelsen's character and his family. And it all seems a little bit random and like every scene is a bit disconnected from the next one. Except then the movie throws another completely unexpected event at you. It just likes doing that apparently, and this one definitely came out of left field. But it was brilliantly done, just from a perspective of the direction and the editing. But I also immediately realized that it actually tied all the previous scenes together as well. And it was at that point that I really started to appreciate the writing in this. Because the writing is really great. I mean, the sheer amount of little details, small things it sets up earlier in the movie that then pay off in the end is kind of staggering. And it just finds a way to bring all the plot lines and everything together in a way that most movies struggle with. On top of that, the character writing is pretty good, and all of them feel very distinct and have a little bit of depth to them as well. But not only that, the comedy here works, I would say 9 times out of 10 probably. Which has a lot to do with the writing, but also the performances from the entire cast. I mean, Mads Mikkelsen is absolutely great in this, but none of the other ones were far behind either. Basically all the main characters get their moment to shine, and most of them really do. So you'll hear no complaints from me when it comes to any of that, any of the performances or the writing. So how about the direction and the editing? Well, I kinda already brought that up a little bit. I mean, this is just so well put together in just about every way imaginable. And the way it handled the tone and the balancing of the drama with the comedy was pretty much masterful. Because it could have so easily gone wrong with the way the story and everything works. Because a lot of the storyline and a lot of the characters are actually pretty silly if you start to think about it. But it treats everything with absolute sincerity and takes everything that happens seriously. And somehow it makes it work, and somehow it works when it switches tone too. Because certain scenes get intense, and I do mean intense, like it just has these great action scenes thrown into the middle of it as well. And on paper this should be a mess of a movie, but it just finds the correct balance. It finds a way to handle everything in the right way, and as a result I don't really have any genuine issues with it. I just ended up enjoying it quite a bit and appreciating how well done most things here were. Which pretty much means I'm inclined to give this one a low 8. Boop. But would I recommend it? Definitely. Even if you don't end up loving it, I can pretty much guarantee you haven't seen a movie quite like this. So, you know, maybe give this one a shot. Or don't. After all, I'm not your dad. But hey, what are your thoughts on this? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a thumbs up or sub to the channel, because that would be fantastic.